I know you want financial freedom and to be able to retire. You want it so badly, but there is a big problem, and this is the brutal truth. You don't have control over your money, and it's being taken from you daily, or you are simply freely giving it away and you don't even know. Those are the facts. You have to take your money back. You have to do it now, and I'll give you 5 ways to do so. Now, to be upfront, I can tell them to you all I want to, but you have to take action and actually execute to these. So let's jump in. The first one, which is get real and do an audit. All right, so what do I mean by that? And what I mean specifically is you have to audit your own financials. You cannot know what is wrong by simply going, yeah, I probably spend a little too much on Amazon, or maybe I shop a little too much, or whatever the case is. That's not an audit. You need to sit down and know where every single dollar is going. And I would suggest actually doing it for an entire year. Understand that would take a lot of time. Start at a month, but do that over an entire year and see exactly where every single dollar is going. The biggest mistake I see in everything from investing to retirement planning to financial freedom, somebody trying to achieve FIRE, whatever the case is, most folks don't do an actual audit of their financials. They have a general idea. They have a okay look at it, or they have a very cursory look at it, but they don't actually get down and audit it, actually get down and figure out, why did we spend that? What was that for? What was that specifically? Do it over a long enough time period to where you can start to see what's normal, what are one-time expenses, a lot of other things of that nature. How many one-time expenses do you have in that year? Might be a lot more than you want to admit. Maybe you do go out a little bit more than you want to admit for lunch or dinner, or $8 coffees, whatever the case is. Not saying those are right or wrong or anything else of that nature, but most people have no clue about what is actually going out and what is actually coming in. So number 2 is blow it up and then budget. So after you've done all that and you've basically accounted for all your money all the way through the entire year, well, guess what? You need to blow it all up and actually create a real budget. Unless you've already done this, everything's all licked out, you have everything perfectly planned out, you know exactly what you spend, you know exactly where everything's going and everything else of that nature. Unless you have that, then you need an actual budget so that way you can account for it. You have a plan every single month coming in. It's one of the biggest things we preach on all my channels is planning. If you don't have a plan, you lose. That is true for virtually everything in life. Now, it doesn't mean you can't wing it sometimes and get away with it. A lot of folks think they're doing better than what they could be. They would be better off if they had a plan moving forward with that. And that's all that a budget is simply you've analyzed it without emotion, without your wants getting in the way, without a lot of other things happening. So that way, hey, no, if I want to stay on track for my goals and hit my goals, I have to stay within this budget. And therefore, you're able to effectively plan for everything that you could possibly need in the future. And you're not left short, whether that be short in terms of making bills that month. A lot of folks think because they got enough money for the bills and some left over a little bit to spend here or there, that they're doing okay. The reality is you are actually shorting yourself. You're just shorting yourself at the end of the journey. When you turn 65 and you can't actually retire, your retirement looks much different than you thought it was going to look. That's where you shorted yourself. So the whole time you felt comfortable and secure wasn't the reality whenever you got there, or 55 or whatever number you're looking at there to start looking at financial freedom and retiring. You're going to find out you shorted yourself if you don't have a budget in the first place. Number 3, cut the shit. Look, I don't know how else to put this, so I'm just going to kind of be upfront here and be a little brutal. You have to stop buying dumb stuff. You don't need 9 subscriptions for your TV. It means you're watching way too much freaking TV. I'm sorry, make your adult kids be actual adults. I'm supporting adult children if you happen to find yourself in that area. I understand there's some other circumstances that sometimes may imply that, but that's not across the board. And most folks are supporting their adult kids when they probably shouldn't be. And most people don't need 2 cars, much less 2 brand new cars. And I could go on and on with examples of things that we spend that are much more fall into the want category than the actual need category. Those right there are the things that we need to stop. We need to cut that stuff out. The other thing that it is critical to, you won't be able to cut out dumb stuff if you don't do this. You got to stop caring what others think. Who freaking cares? It's stupid. It's dumb. It's just one of those things in life that I know, especially here in the US, it's so hard because it's so culturally ingrained in us to care what others think and try to keep up with each other and all this other stuff like that. It does nothing except for ruin you financially and rob you financially of your financial future. So if you can stop caring what others think, I promise you, it would go a long way, not just to saving your wallet, not just your mental health. It will also save your future as well. Number 4, stop dreaming and start planning. Look, let me give you guys just the short answer here on this one. You got to start planning your early retirement or your path to financial freedom or your path to retirement right now and stop dreaming. Now, I'm not telling you dreaming is not important, but guess what? Everyone dreams about retiring, financial freedom, whatever the case is. But almost nobody actually plans for it and then executes to it. Dreaming is a waste of time if you're never going to do anything about it. I mean, who cares if you're dreaming of Paris or a beach house or a lake house or whatever the point is, wherever your thought, your dream is of what you want to do? Well, you're not going anywhere if you don't start planning for it and figure that piece out. Now, sure, I agree you need to know where you're going, but most people never leave the dreaming phase because then you would actually have to do something. And it's just way more fun to dream, right? And then, of course, people thought excuse, well, my dreams change. Things change over time. You're right. You can always change the dream, and the work done up to that point makes the new dream that you have even closer than it was before. So saying my dream could change, cool. You got to start planning at some point in time. You got to start executing to that. And then if you need to make changes in your plan as you go, you just simply do that. Either way, it puts you in a far better spot than never leaving the sidelines per se, never leaving the dream stage, which means you're going to be 75 and still dreaming of a retirement and never actually able to do it. And lastly, stop being lazy and grow your money. Now, I know that sounded harsh up front, but kind of hear me out here. And then if you want to get offended and blast me down in the comments, I guess go for it there. But a lot of folks are waiting for the next big, easy money opportunity, which is actually the lazy approach. And unfortunately, those folks, they better enjoy working until they die or getting scammed, because that doesn't exist. There is no such thing as a big, easy money opportunity coming out of nowhere. Everything looks easy in hindsight. It never is during the time frame. And more importantly, most folks aren't prepared for it, but yet they're waiting for that. And what happens is when you're actually presented with something that you can actually take action on, when you haven't taken action any other way and you're just waiting on some special opportunity, you end up getting scammed. You end up buying at the highs whenever, it's to the moon, right? You end up buying those highs instead of buying when it actually makes sense. So let's take this one step further. Can you tell me how the stock market actually works, how to do evaluation on a company, how to analyze a company from a stock perspective or anything else if you're wanting to invest in stocks? Or can you tell me exactly how real estate investing works? Exactly what numbers are important, what numbers aren't important? Can you tell me what the different niches are within real estate and which one do you have an expertise in? It can all be learned, but you got to actually learn it instead of chasing easy money opportunities that require no work at all. I can say the same exact thing about a side hustle. Do you have one? Do you have another business that could potentially grow into something in the future that you're working on in the background? It can even be a passion project of some sort. But guess what? Some of the best passion projects turn into some of the biggest business winners as well. A lot of folks have thought about it. Matter of fact, most folks have thought about it. Some folks have put in some effort and have tried it. But have you actively pursued it? Are you actively working on it right now? That's what I mean by taking action and actually doing something instead of waiting for something to happen to you. Luck is simply where preparation meets opportunity, and opportunities happen all the time. But if you aren't prepared, it isn't just as simple as, oh, hey, I saw a YouTube video or a tweet, let me invest there. It's not how it works in the end. It's going to require a lot of time. If you don't want your money taken from you, you have to understand these concepts. And if you're looking to retire early on as little as $300,000 and in 1 to 2 years, make sure you check out the pinned comment down there for the blacklist, where we lay all that out step by step, exactly how to do it. I will walk through that step by step with you along the way. Guys, it is the best way to achieve financial freedom, especially if you're behind, especially if you're trying to do it the traditional way and it just doesn't work. That's exactly what it's for. So thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.